Acá hay una casa.
Somos delincuentes. Tenemos pinta. Buenas noches. No falta nada, creo. No falta nada porque estamos aquí. La bailarina. La bailarina. Agrupémonos y empecemos a caminar.
Hi everybody, and thanks so much for coming back. My name is Dion, and this is D. Maria Reacts. Well, as of late, it seems like the best TV going on right now is watching the masses of people returning to their homeland. I have just been obsessed since this past weekend. Ever since Holman and ICE have been rounding up the illegals who have guilty of egregious things. Many of them are, such as harms that they do to children, being involved in labor trafficking, sex trafficking. So it has been pretty satisfying to watch, because that's part of the reason why I, myself, and many other American citizens even voted for Trump, is because we wanted this situation handled. So, with videos regarding this whole immigration thing, and I'm happy to have y'all here hanging out with me. Clip from the show The View, and let's just see what they have to say about this piece.
You're going to see the numbers steadily increase.
Estimates of perhaps those who have been convicted or arrested in the past 700,000 to over.
Let's check out what the ladies on The View have to say about Tom Homan.
U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan has started using ICE agents to conduct a nationwide raid and the U.S. military to carry out mass deportations of undocumented citizens. Now, he told ABC News chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz that this is just the beginning. Take a look.
Is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes, but you're going to see the numbers steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide, as we open up the aperture.
The estimates of perhaps those who have been convicted or arrested in the past 700,000 to over 1 million. So after you do that, then you go after everybody who is there illegally.
If you're in the country illegally, you're on the table.
The acting Homeland Security Secretary said in a statement, criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. What criminals are hiding in schools?
How many MS-13 members are aged 14 and 17? Many of them.
So, is this the immigration system fix that people had in mind when they voted? Do you think?
Well, it's hard to tell at this table because no one voted for it. But I think if you were, I don't know yet. It's kind of, it's disturbing what we're seeing, and the headlines and all the coverage would make you think that there's this massive deportation. But by numbers, contextually, President Obama still remains the deporter in chief. Even if Trump continues at this rate, he will not even hit what President Obama hit in 1 year with 400,000. But the point here is that it's meant to be a PR campaign. So it's...
Okay, so Pick a side, okay? Are you for immigration or not? Because on the one hand, you see the progressive liberal left crying and boo-hooing, crying their eyes out that this is being done at all. Okay, that people are being picked up and carted out of the United States and taken back to their homeland. So, firstly, what is everybody so upset about, crying and boo-hooing? Because it's not like anybody has sentenced these people to death or anything. They're simply being flown back home, point blank. Now, they want to try to make a comparison and say that, oh, first it was that Trump is even doing this at all. How horrible that he's doing this. Now they've switched over to, well, he's not doing it as fast as Obama did. He's been in office all of what? A week? Give him a minute. Number one. Number two, back when Obama was doing it, guess what? Obama wasn't getting all the kickback that the Trump administration is getting. I mean, you have politicians, mayors of cities, even kicking in to help conceal and help to hide these criminals. Um, they get in trouble here in America, and even attacking police officers, they get a slap on the wrist and turn right back out into um, the regular population. So pick a side, y'all. Come on now.
Massive deportation, but by numbers, it contextually, President Obama still remains the deporter in chief. Even if Trump continues at this rate, he will not even hit what President Obama hit in 1 year with 400,000. But the point here is that it's meant to be a PR campaign. So it's meant to scare people.
It's not meant just to be a PR campaign. No. It's meant to shake things up. It's meant to make the American citizens safer by getting dangerous people out of here, carting them out of here. It's also meant to shake up the whole system, the immigration system. It's deliberate that the courts are kicking into the situation. Trump wants this policy to be reviewed. The fact that the 14th Amendment is being called into question, yeah, he meant to do that because it's being too broadly applied. It's being applied in circumstances and situations where it shouldn't be. Now, we all know that the 14th Amendment, as far as when it originated, and it was ratified in 1863 or 65, but it was regarding giving citizenship to slaves. It's being more broadly applied than it should be at this point, administration. But anyway, let's let her finish. Let's see what else she has to say.
People. That's what they're doing right now. And when you look at these flights where they are deporting people back to their origin nation, we don't know who they are, and that's where I'd like to see more transparency. If indeed, right now, everyone on these flights is a violent criminal, I think we can all agree everyone thinks they should leave the country. We were saying that this morning. It's common sense. But what we're not getting is a breakdown of who these people are. On the first day of Trump's presidency, DHS, there was a press release, and they said that they had nabbed more than 300 illegal migrant criminals, including one attempted murder and one child molester. But what about the other 298? What was their crime?
So, really, you really think that they're going to just publicly take the time to call out what all 299 people? Come on now.
Because I think either you own the fact that these are all violent criminals and break down who these people are, what their crime was, and tell the American people, or tell us what they really are and let us have a healthy debate over the disagreement of how this is being carried out.
Because, yeah, I think the answer to your question, Whoopi, is...
See, so she has to acquiesce to an answer like that because they're already seeing the kickback. You know, y'all look ridiculous crying salty tears over these people being taken back home when they are a threat to society. Okay? Y'all look crazy doing that. Thing was, well, tell us what each and every single last one of the ones, tell us every single thing that each person did. Nobody has to tell you anything, okay? They have that documentation. Homan said that they know who it is that they're looking for and they're going after them. They just been waiting for Trump to get in office so they can go after them, okay? So now y'all have to just step back and start speaking like you got some sense. Speaking sensibly, because you were sounding ridiculous.
Yes and no for the public. So 87% of Americans support deporting undocumented migrants who've committed crimes in this country. That's nearly a universal opinion that I think we stand by.
What we don't agree on is what is considered a crime, because quite frankly, if you are in this country and you are not legal, if you're illegally into this country, if you stepped in here illegally, you're a criminal. You committed a crime. That's point blank. There are a lot of people that don't share that same opinion.
55% express some desire to see anyone who's here unlawfully leave. So that's a lot more split. What I'd say is this when we talk about this issue, most nations on earth deal with the question of how to secure their border and how many migrants to take in. It's not uniquely American. It's not xenophobic to simply care about it. There's national security imperatives. There's economic imperatives. And what we're seeing now, what matters to me is how it's done, that it's done humanely and safely, and that we're prioritizing the people who shouldn't be here. So again,
they have already thought that through while y'all sitting and what do they call it? Armchair coaching or whatever. While you are psychoanalyzing the way they do that, they have already thought all that process out.
People who've committed offenses against people, but also I think that it's important that we contextualize it, because to Sarah's point, in Obama's first term, 3 million people were deported. That's much slower than what Trump's on pace to do right now. And I'd finally say that I think that America is supposed to be a shining city on a hill. I think that we're a place that welcomes migrants. We're stronger for it. But we should prioritize people like refugees. Right now, there's 1,600 Afghans who helped assist us in this war who are on pause under the Trump administration from coming in. Those are the people who need to come first, not economic migrants. We can't house everyone. We can't bring everyone here. But people who helped our country and are fleeing for their lives should always be able to have a place
be protected,
here.
I agree with that.
To answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted? I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain
pain and destruction
group or type of immigrant. Because if you look at the numbers, yes, the number of immigrants that come from Mexico or of Mexican born are the largest. But the next largest are Asians. 28% of them come. I don't think they walk across the southern border. I think they come by plane. The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they walk either. I'm just saying immigrants, right?
Oh, not undocumented, though.
A lot of them are undocumented, actually.
But that's not the stat for being.
But a lot of them
come by plane and then overstay their visas.
They overstay their visas. They overstay their visas, so they're undocumented. The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like, what an undocumented migrant. And I think that's racist. Let me also say that, in my view, he has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Generally, before being deported, you have an asylum case pending in front of a court, and you must appear in front of that judge. Right now, there are 3 million asylum cases and 900 judges. That is why the bipartisan bill that was going to be passed addressed that particular issue. Instead of dealing with it legally in that way.
Excuse me, dealing with it legally? Illegal immigrants do not have rights. They don't have rights. They don't have due process of law entitled to them. No, that's not how this works.
not saying he's doing it illegally. What he did was declared a national emergency that qualifies as a foreign invasion. And on the U.S.-Mexico border, not any other border. And that cleared the way for the Department of Defense to deploy the military at a 60% increase. I just think that our military members, many of them did not join the military to do that job. And let me say just finally that they are also racially profiling in doing this. In Newark, New Jersey, a business venue on Thursday was raided, and among the citizens that they detained and questioned was a Puerto Rican man and a military vet. For the 50 million thousandth time, Puerto Ricans are Americans and disproportionately serve in the military. And so I say all of this to say that I am disappointed, disgusted, and saddened by what I'm seeing.
Can I
Well,
make one
no,
point of
no, let me
clarity,
speak,
though?
please.
Let me get.
So, you asked the question, is this what people voted for? I've actually seen some video this weekend of Latinos who voted for Trump crying because now their abuelas and their tios are getting deported.
Right.
Vet. For the 50 million thousandth time, Puerto Ricans are Americans and disproportionately serve.
First of all, they don't necessarily know that until after they have a conversation with the person.
In the military. And so I say all of this to say that I am disappointed, disgusted, and saddened
Girl, nobody cares.
by what I.
Girl, nobody cares. We really don't care.
I've actually seen some video this weekend of Latinos who voted for Trump crying because now their abuelas and their tios are getting deported.
Right.
I'm having a very hard time mustering up any sympathy for those people.
Yeah.
And look, I'm an immigrant. I know the desperation that it takes to leave your country. Amongst immigrants in particular, there is no doubt that we want anybody who had the opportunity to come to this great country and committed a crime, we want them punished, we want them deported to the fullest extent of the law. But a lot of good, hardworking people who are in our schools, who are our colleagues, who own houses and businesses here, who are the parents of U.S. citizen children, are getting caught up in this. Because it's been reported that ICE offices all over.
But if they're so established in the community, why are they not going through the proper process to be here legally? If you're going to invest all of that into your life, into this country, then become a part of this country legally. I don't understand what the breakdown is.
Over the country have been given a quota. There is no way they meet that quota just with criminal aliens. And let me just say, I think that what he's done with the military, in addition to the legal aspects that may be involved, has a lot to do with a publicity stunt. The point is cruelty. The point is instilling fear. But it's also very costly. A charter DHS flight, it's been reported, is something like $8,500. A military C-130 is $816,000. So each one of those planes is costing us, so that he can have his picture and his photo op, 100 times more what a charter.
Oh my gosh, I can't listen to it anymore. So anyway, that's my take on what's being said by the ladies at The View regarding this issue. And for real, the only time I ever watch clips of this show is so that I can react to what it is that they're talking about. So I have done that. I have listened to all I can stand to listen to. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.